Hi everyone. Been a few weeks break, had a lot of renos done around the house. As you can hear, still got a horrible cold, but I'm back. It was going to be a long episode this week, but I'll probably put that off to next week now because I'm still feeling real well. Where I'm going to outline a film using the tools out of Tools Not Rules to put together a very basic outline for a story, just coming from an idea. I was over at Stage 32 and I asked some people there for some ideas, and they gave me a few. And from that, I'm going to put together, show you how the tools work through and come up with an outline for a film. But this week, it's characters, developing great characters and character flaws. What can we do? Well, a flaw is, we've had obstacles and dilemmas previously where we give someone an obstacle, which is a physical thing to overcome. That's the other episode. I'll put it up here somewhere. And a dilemma is a flaw that prevents them from doing the obvious thing. So I thought this week we'd talk about the flaws. So what is a flaw? A flaw is like a character trait with a bad outcome. A character trait can have a good outcome. A character trait can be neutral. It can be just a character trait, something about the person. But if it's a flaw, it will be something that prevents a good outcome, or it makes them act in a certain way. The best thing about a flaw is that you can make it can also be part of the thing that they have to overcome. They have to learn not to be that person. As people always say, is that person. They have to evolve as their character in how they act, how they relate to people. They've got to become a better human being. This is a flaw. A flaw could be, and there's really bad ones. I'm going to do some good ones and some bad ones, and ones that will work, that give you an idea of how you can use them. For me, bad flaws feel like you recognize them. Oh, that was in that story, so we would have this. And sometimes they hang a lantern on them. The expression is like you make sure that everyone knows that this was there to make a certain thing in the story happen, and it's really fun. I think it was the third Back to the Future film. Suddenly, if you call Marty McFly a chicken, he loses all common sense. He becomes this madman. He'll do something really stupid and really dangerous. If you just call him a chicken, suddenly, and that was never in the first two films. We've had 2 hours more, 2.5 hours, 3 hours of film where this never happened. That one word, chicken, suddenly, Manchurian Candidate style turns him into. But it was fun the way they did it too. And everyone realised that's never been in the other films. That's not a thing. It's been pushed in here. But that is a flaw. A flaw of Marty McFly is if you call him a chicken, you can just manipulate him. You can do things. In Johnny English, they make fun of that flaw where the guy says, I have to answer every question if it's asked of me 3 times. And they go, who's your boss? Who's your boss? Who's your boss? Oh, in that case then, number 2, he's in the palace on the... So those sorts of flaws, they feel really bad. They feel really plasticky. They feel terrible. But so you don't want to have those, and they're sure doing what they did for Back to the Future, and they're making it a bit of fun. A good flaw is Joker. There's some very good flaws in Joker. His inability to relate to people because of his laugh, and he's got the condition, I have a condition where I laugh when I'm under stress. That makes it impossible for him to develop relationships. And this is when he becomes an unreliable narrator, because suddenly you see that he's got these relationships. He begins to be able to engage with people. But his inability to relate to people because he also cares for his mother. His social anxiety is a flaw for him. His, like I said, inability to connect, the inability to have a reliable conversation, to connect with people. He doesn't even have empathy, so which is another flaw. So you've got this person with no real empathy. He loves his mother. He deals with his mother. He cares for his mother. He doesn't have good relationships. He can't communicate. He can't connect. He doesn't understand people. All those are flaws to build Arthur, and they just weren't bizarre flaws. You see bad flaws too, where it's like every cop is a drunk. Okay, you want to have a drunken policeman? Not a problem. Why does he drink? Was his father a drunk? So then he's grown up in an abusive environment, maybe. So that helps round out his character. Maybe he drinks because it's just like genetic drinking. Maybe it's habitual drinking. Has that lost him a relationship? Does his wife drink a lot? Does his partner drink a lot? Does her husband drink a lot? So you've got a female officer who's not normally going to be the big drinker of the family. It's going to be, if you see the tropey ones, she's a cop, she works all night, she comes home, she still cares for the family. The husband's putting pressure on her, you're not being much of a mother, and all those sorts of tropey things that happen. So maybe that's the reason she drinks. So the drinking is the flaw. It impacts on her job, it impacts on her life, it impacts on her ability of being in a good relationship. She's starting to fall behind in her work. So you've got this drinking. So then she can start looking at curing the drinking. Now you've got the other character that's going to help her with someone from AA, her sponsor from AA, who's going to help her with, I'm just like free-forming some ideas here, but now you've got that other thing. Not only is she trying to solve the case, become a better officer, save her relationship, or maybe she realizes that her relationship was based on drinking, and now that she's sober, she knows that it's a toxic relationship. She wants to get out. So she wants to get out of her relationship. She wants to keep her job, try to get her career back, but not let down her sponsor. And she's putting her own, need to be a good person onto that sponsor. So she's standing up for things for someone else, not for herself. So that one flaw of drinking, if you make it realistic and you make it connect to something, not just all policemen are drunks, you get a lot of story out of it. A really good flaw is ego. And I think the best ego flaw I've seen is Iron Man. I'm a Robert Downey Jr. fan, big fan of the Iron Man movie. The first night it came out, we went to Gold Class, which is the cinemas up here that have recliners, and they bring food to you and alcohol, and they come in sets of 2. So my wife and my daughter were over on one, and I had one all by myself because I didn't want to have to deal with anybody while I was watching Iron Man. And I love that film. Robert Downey Jr., his biggest problem is ego. And he looks down on people. Even when he was showing off Jericho the first time, and you see the bombs hit and the whole wall and all that stuff just rushes past him, he's disinterested. He's like, yeah, I'm better than you. Yeah, they're millions of dollars. You get a free drink card. He just gets himself some booze. He's drinking booze during a meeting where he's selling millions of dollars worth of weapons to the military. I'm better than you guys. This is just me. And if you think of the military people that he connected with, they were the soldiers in the truck that he was driving along with because they looked up to him. They fed his ego like, oh, Mr. Stark, can I get a photo with you? Yeah, come on, cool. No gang symbols. He felt good around these people because they were giving him adoration. Then he gets addicted to his ego again is that one thing. He never questions a mission. And in the end, he says to Pepper, there is nothing else but these missions. Because these, to him, are the one thing that he can connect with. These are the things that drive him. These are his ego feeder. And at the very end, S.H.I.E.L.D. has come up with a whole raft of reasons and excuses and alibis and stuff. And his ego still forces him to stand there in the middle of a press conference and go, I am Iron Man. Cut. Fade to black. That's it. That's a flaw. A flaw is based inside a human. Because all stories are about people, as we know. And it has to be intrinsic. It has to have a reason. It can't feel like it's a button you just pull like a trigger. Oh, we need that flaw again. Let's go. Oh, there we go. He's going to go do something stupid again. If you want to use flaws correctly, don't make them tropey. Don't say all cops drink. And if you do going to do that, base it in reality. Make it a part of the person. Why does this person have that flaw? What is it intrinsic to them? Why do they do it? Just don't say, oh, this character's a bit shallow. Oh, I'll make them ADHD. Okay, so they're ADHD, but how? Why? Were they always ADHD? Were they ADHD all the way through school? Well, of course they were. It's a wiring. But how did that affect them? How do they become a policeman if they're ADHD? How has that affected their? Do they take Ritalin? Do they take some dexamphetamines? How has this affected them? You just can't sort of go, well, I think I'll just stick on. I'll just make up a sticker here of alcoholism, bang, or drug use, or an abusive relationship, and I'll stick that flaw on, or they can never be wrong. It will feel bad. A flaw has to come from history. People grow into who they are. They don't suddenly become who they are. That's it. Sorry for all the weird cuts because of all the coughing fits. If you would do these things, that would be really great. I've been getting some, new subscribers while no videos have been going up, which is nice. Comment, share this on the socials if you'd be so kind. And you've watched it all the end. Thank you very, very much. And until next time, keep writing. Bye.